Yo, what's up, everyone? Gonna give it a second, real quick. All right, what's up? Appreciate all any of y'all tuning in. Um, I'll give it like a few more seconds. I'll start talking about the game. But man, I mean, where do you want to start? I think we should all start with like Lou Dort, right? I should not. Let's talk about the fourth quarter and defense overall because that's what won them the game. I'll talk about the negatives a bit after. Dude, this is three straight games of the Oklahoma City Thunder completely locking Nikola Jokic down. You can look at his box score right here. 7 of 22. 7 22 from the field. You're forcing him to take jumpers. Um, you're making sure that Jokic is taken away from the rim. He's turning over the ball. I mean, today he didn't turn over the ball much, but he only had 3 assists. His playmaking is being completely neutralized. And I mean, this is a defensive effort by the team. You got J. Will, you got Harnstein. Um, I think Chet was great in help today. He struggled on the ball. Chet had a really rough game today. He on offense because again his issues of not being able to play off the catch, his issues of not being able to put the ball on the floor. That's always gonna be an issue for him. But like defensively, I thought he was great today. Um, the Lou Dort thing is I think the biggest story of the game, right? So Thunder could not score all game long. They finally started getting going end of the third quarter and going into the fourth quarter, which is how they eventually start hitting some shots, um, pull away with the game, and really benching Dort's 19 minutes are his lowest in any playoff game since his rookie season. He's never played below I think 26, 27 minutes, dating back to the Mavs series, and he shot 2 of 10 from free today. I think the number one thing you should focus on is 10 3 pointers in 19 minutes. That should never happen with really any player outside of like someone like Isaiah Joe, right? They should never be shooting that many shots. But Denver wanted him to continue shooting up 3 pointers, to continue, you know, putting the ball on the floor. They just wanted the ball in Dort's hands, and he obviously wasn't making them pay. And Mark, I'm really happy that Mark made the adjustment because we all watched Game Three to watched the end of Game Three together on YouTube, and we all saw that the entire Denver defense wants Dort to kill him. They're just leaving him open. They're just collapsing on Shai's drives. So you need to get someone out. You need to get like more offensive options in the game. And they played Wiggins in the second half a lot. His 15 minutes probably just don't justify how important his minutes were. He played I think 11 or 12 in the second half, and thank God Mark had the guts because I was really scared that because Dort is Mark's guy. Mark has played Dort has closed with him almost every single game uh, since he's had this core. So I was really scared that he was just gonna keep playing him through his struggles. But thank God, man. And then you replace him with Wiggins and Wallace, and Wiggins and Wallace had the two biggest games of their life. B said Dort cannot see another minute in the fourth quarter of the series, and I don't think it's completely unfair because if the teams are gonna zone up against us, if teams are gonna play so aggressive against us, you need more offensive options, you need smarter players, and respectfully, Dort is probably like the slowest player on the team in terms of processing the floor, right? Guys like Kaysen and Caruso are much better processors, and then Wiggins is a much better shooter. So like, I I really appreciate Mark having the guts. Yeah, yeah. Mark never benching Lewis single time is weird, but I think he'll take it well. I think Dort understands that he played poorly in his game. And another thing with Dort, it wasn't just the offense. He wasn't really doing much on defense this game. We all saw it, right? Um, in a series where you're playing against Jokic, who is such a good screener, there's only so much impact Dort can have, and he was being taken away from plays. I think Jamal was. I can check his stats before the fourth quarter, but I thought Jamal was pretty fine. He was getting his jumper, so Dort's not having much impact in the series defensively because of how Denver's playing. So playing more offensive players is exactly what I preached. I said play Wiggins and Joe more. Joe didn't have his greatest game today. He only played 7 minutes. So, but I like the process of playing those two more. Yeah, rotate between Alex, Wiggins, and Wallace. Say all three of those guys saved the game. And I said last game, you need to just keep ample up Caruso's minutes, right? There's no reason why he should be playing 15 to 20 minutes. He should be a 30 minute per game guy. He should be your fourth or fifth most player almost every single night, and maybe even more if Chet's struggling like he is right now. And he hit those big 3 pointers. I think the Thunder were 1 of 14 from free, and then Caruso comes in and hits back to back 3 pointers, helps break the seal. Um, Absolutely massive game, bro. He saved our season. Yeah, I tweeted it, but Aaron Wiggins didn't save basketball today. He saved the Thunder season also. Like that was they need shot making so bad on this team, and again, there's only a few players that actually provide it, Joe and Wiggins. And if you need to break this Denver zone, you need to break this Denver defense is by playing these guys more, and trust your guys defensively, right? You can play J-Dub and Chet and or Caruso. You don't have to play all 4 or 5 defenders. You know, like you can live with only having 2 or 3 of your best defenders in the game because you should trust them enough. They've done a good enough job this series where you can play guys like Wiggins and Joe in minutes, and obviously Caruso and Kaysen are obviously defensive menaces. So should Wiggins start? I don't know about start, but he should definitely be playing a lot of minutes with Shai. I feel like almost every minute that J-Dub is not on the floor, Wiggins should be on the floor as like an attacking off the catch option next to Shai. It'll help him a lot. What is the chance that Dort actually gets benched next game? You know what's kind of funny? And this is not saying Dort is like a liability or Dort's being that bad, but like it's very similar to last year with Giddy, right? Where the Thunder win a close game 4 where they couldn't score on offense, and they eventually just bench Giddy completely down the stretch, like they did with Dort today. And then game 5, they have they have Giddy come off the bench. Now I think Dort has played so much with the core. I don't I don't think they're gonna bench him. I don't think he's been that bad to the point where he won't be able to play this series. So I think they'll start with him, but I do think I think Mark will be more willing to like take him out the game at certain points. We can look at like the offensive ratings right here quickly. Let's look. I don't think the NBA has updated their site yet, but let's see. I would say so again. Answering your question, Mohit, I think there's like a 15 to 20% chance that Dort gets benched, but I don't think it's high. But really, whoever starts the game matters just a little bit. It really matters who's playing the most minutes, and as long as Crusoe's touching around 30 minutes a game, I'm really happy. What the insane double lane violation call? I don't understand why lane violations are a thing unless it's so blatant. Like it just doesn't make any impact. It feels like it's just resetting the possession. I don't know why they do that. Burden said, Dort is money from free. I don't think a bad game should have him benched. So again, I don't think Dort's gonna shoot 2 of 10 bad again, or at least I hope. But I also think another thing helps. He's gonna be playing at home in Game 5. We now have home court advantage, Game 5 and a potential Game 7, right? So now we have home court advantage, and I think that'll help Dort a lot. He's been a much better shooting at home all year, all postseason, just his entire career. I don't really know why, but that's just a fact. And yeah, I think that'll help. Um, yeah, I think Dort's gonna be subbed in early. The refs this series have been really pissing me off for one reason. I'm not a guy that complains about refs, but if you touch Jokic off the ball, or if you do any like hold Gordon off a loose ball, anything like that, it's an automatic foul. But once Christian Braun is putting his hands on Shea, there's no call. So I don't really understand that. Yeah, the misses were really bad too. I don't know if you guys remember, he had a really bad air ball in game 3. And then today he had like a few really bad misses. So yeah, teams that screen a lot. I mean, the Nuggets basically screen every single ball action, right? There's just only so much impact Dort can have. He's never been that great against these type of teams. Um, so let's talk about like outside of Dort, right? We talked about him and a few of the role players a lot. So Shea, J-Dub, and Hartenstein all didn't have the greatest games. I am a bit more optimistic about Shea though, so I'll talk about Shea first. Give me a sec. I need some water, but I think Shea he had a really bad second and third quarter where he was just playing really too slow. I was watching the game in the playback live, and we are talking about every single time he got the ball, just push it faster, play on the baseline. You know, if you play a bit faster, you're gonna get those baseline mid ranges. You're gonna get those bump mid ranges you've been hitting all year. So I was kind of frustrated at that, but on the other hand, I think the fourth quarter, outside of that 1 to 2 minute stretch, I think Shea started to figure something out. He, I think not just Shea, I think the Thunder started to figure something out. He had him playing more from the wing, posting up from the wing more. It was much harder for Denver to like double or get him. He got like a few good shots up. He had a few mid ranges. The last minute or two when he dribbled off his foot, missed those step back threes were obviously bad. But like for the most part, I thought Shea was really solid in the fourth. He moved the ball well, and I think it was a substantial improvement from game three where he just played a bunch of iso ball in the middle of the floor, and that's what Denver wanted, right? They wanted Shea to just play the middle of the floor, just dribble it out, and be forced to take these long jumpers. I think Shea being able to play from the wing, where he got post up mid ranges, he got like to the rim once. I think that was much better. He got some fouls. He hit his free throws finally, and I think here's the thing. Shea's not played great this series, but he's also barely turning the ball over. He had like 1 or 2 turnovers before that final possession today. And I have to respect that about Shea, that even in his bad games, he's keeping the ball secure. He's not giving Denver easy points. That's not an easy thing to do against this type of defense. He's seeing 2 to 3 bodies every single drive. So Shea's ability to keep the ball secure has also been a huge reason. I mean, like you can look at Jokic on the other end, right? He's struggled with turnovers all series. He's had some games where he just threw it out. I'm not Canadian Wilson, but let's see what chat's saying. So yeah, Jokic gets to play very physical. I mean, the play where you guys remember the play where the Thunder challenged it, they didn't get the approximate foul, but they Caruso Jokic just completely pushed Caruso on the boards, and they got no call there. The refs didn't even see it, so. And I think that's kind of an issue because like stars get lenient whistles, right? Every star gets a somewhat benefit of the doubt, but Jokic is playing inside. He's playing on the boards, so that means like everything inside they're getting like a lenient whistle. They're getting the benefit of the doubt, which is really annoying, but it's whatever. Love to play where in the clutch where Shea was on the wing and had the defense overloaded. Yes, yes, yes. That was one of my favorite plays. Okay. We can actually see the play right now. That's actually really nice. We can look through the plays right now. Hold on, let me mute the NBA side. All right, it's actually already muted. Um, we can look at this play right here. This is the play you're talking about, Eric. So like, Braun is coming up right here. Jokic is hedging hard. Shea draws in second defender, and then Jada plays so quick off the catch. This was one of my favorite plays. I agree. Like this is exactly how you have to attack. You have to play fast off the catch, and only Jada and Wiggins really have the ability to do that on this team. So it's a strong finish. I was really happy that um Jada was able to finally get that going. But obviously, a really bad game for him. He was I think in game one, Jada played really fast, and he just like kept on rushing his shots. He played off balance a lot. It kind of felt like he went back to those habits. I have to check, but he also didn't have a really impactful playmaking game either. So obviously I obviously need Jada a little better, but I just think it's like a game to game adjustment thing. Denver's changing the coverages so much. Game two and three, Jada played awesome, just playing slower, um, attacking mismatches, but I believe in him to get it going. Yes, exactly. When Jada plays slow, when Jada plays in control, always has awesome games. It's just that when he gets sped up, you don't really know what's gonna happen with Jada. What hurts more is thinking that the series was 4-0. I think obviously I'm not gonna do it 4-0, but like not winning one of those games is so terrible. Like if you split those games, right, you're up 3-1 right now, but Do you think iHeart starts making his push shots again? So here's the thing about iHeart push shots, right? It really depends on where he's shooting the shot because iHeart's obviously an elite has elite touch. He makes these floaters all the time. He practices it all the time, but he cannot make it from the baseline. I'll try to show an example. He had a lot last game, which I think it was this one, right? Like he just cannot make it from the baseline. I don't understand why, like what the specific like physics on it is, but like he's been horrible from shooting on the baseline. He's always short or way too long. I guess he doesn't have a direct angle on the rim, so that's why Hardenstein kind of sucks on these baseline floaters. But they're playing him at the dunker spot, right? They're playing Hardenstein always at the dunker spot. They're not putting him in the middle because of the defense that Denver's playing. They want Shai to have some space, so they can't really put Hardenstein in the middle of the floor, and he's just not able to really capitalize. So I think they need to maybe shift some alignments, try to get iHeart in some better positions for him to get these shots up. But his depth perception, it might just be that he literally just cannot make shots from the baseline. If he, it's not even just game one. I mean, we can do this right now. Hold up, I have time today, so we can just go through this real quick. But we can go on Friday. Um, we can look at this game right here. Same thing happened this game where Shay's lob. I mean, it might just be like every single shot here. We can just look at his last three. Like I think they're all from the baseline if I remember right. Like look at this. This one was the worst one, right? This was the air ball that iHeart had. Uh, he has no perception on how to get the ball up in that situation. It's been a bad thing all year. We didn't really see it much because like he was never forced to play dunker spot, but I think this is a number one. Yeah. Like there's not much you can do right there. And this might be the last one. Yeah. Like he went 0 3 on these baseline touch shots in the clutch. So like yeah, he's really got to find a way. I mean, not he did. It's not really his fault. We just as a team just need to find a way to like get him in better positions because that's just not a shot he can make. And it's also the limitations of Hardenstein, right? Like if he could make floaters from every single spot on the floor, he would be a much higher score, like much more valuable scorer than he is. But yeah, let's talk about Jado making his free throws was awesome, especially in the clutch. He's been drawing free throws a lot more this series. I'll respect that about him. Yeah, we need Dort to play better, but Chet's game was interesting. Chet's game was interesting because again, I think Chet's doing a lot better on the boards this entire series, this entire postseason. He's finally learned how to play the boards better. First round, he played against Zach Edey for most of the series because Isaiah Hartenstein's guarding Jaren Jackson Jr., right? So Chet has the responsibility of playing a 7'4" player who's a bit bigger than him, and he did a completely great job at holding him down. So good first round rebounding, and then this series, since game one, I'll check the. I think Denver probably got no, actually no. The Thunder had more offensive rebounds than Denver for the third straight game. Yeah, and that's gonna be the biggest. That's gonna be the biggest thing. Limiting possessions. I checked the turnover too. So Thunder had 14 turnovers. Hold up. I need to move my phone to the other side. And Denver had 13 turnovers. So again, they're winning the possession battle overall for most of these uh in most of these games. So I think that's a good sign going forward, going to game five. I feel optimistic for that reason. Yeah, it's really I'm sorry, my phone just keeps getting messages, but um Chet really needs to stop with the dribbling stuff. That is so annoying. That he had like two or three turnovers or near turnovers, just dribbling the ball up in transition, or he gets like he needs to understand like most of these times where he's dribbling the ball in transition, there's no advantage. There was this one play where it's 3-on-1, and I have no idea what Chet's doing. Like, please get rid of the ball. Like we can probably find a play here, but it might be the second one here. Like, what are we doing here? Like, did Chet expect to score in this 3-on-1 situation? Like, even if you beat Jokic, Gordon, and Braun are faster than you, they're gonna be able to recover. Like, this is just not. He did have better situational awareness. I don't really understand how to explain it. Though Chet seriously thinks like he's a ball handler at times, and it really hurts the team in that regard. Start Kaysen. I think if anyone's gonna start for uh, am I can agree, Bobby. I think if anyone's gonna start for Dort, it's probably gonna be Kaysen because they started Kaysen a lot this year when someone was injured or something like that, or even when before iHart or Chet came back, right? Double Big came back. They started Kaysen the entire time. So if it's gonna be anyone, I think it's gonna be Kaysen. Russ and Jamal Murray disrupting us like hell right now. Here's another thing. I don't think Jokic has been that bad on defense this all series. I know some Thunder fans don't want to hear that, but like his hands are really valuable. Um, Hold on, give me a sec. All right, I see Case and then Caruso can give us that spark off the bench unit, off the bench still. Yeah, I think Caruso, no matter what, is gonna be coming off the bench. I think that's how they used him all year. Caruso only started one game all of this season, and it was against when we had no Dort, no Wallace. So like it was kind of forced his hand. I think Mark really loves Caruso in that bench role. So yeah, Kaysen and Caruso together in those units, cookies and cream would be great also. Um, we talking about an interesting thing here. Jay Will played a lot of minutes in the second half. I think like eight, probably like 8 to 9 minutes in that second half. He did a really good job on Jokic. Again, the Jokic defense this series has been unreal. I didn't think it was possible for them to play Jokic this good, especially without like a dominant post defender. Like Chet obviously has his strength issues, and then Hardenstein's kind of struggled as a post defender, right? So I was kind of, I wouldn't say hesitant, but like I didn't have full confidence they were going to slow Jokic down to this degree, like they do with like most players. But this has been one of the most impressive defensive series from a team ever on an individual player. Like a player of Jokic's caliber has never had. We can look at like, hold up, what is Jokic's true shooting in this series? In the playoffs, 49 true shooting, and I think his average in the playoffs is like above 60. So like he's also had how many turnovers? So only averaging 5 assists. Again, Jokic averaged double digit assists on the season. You're holding him to 5 assists on a negative assist to turnover differential. Like this is truly one of the best team defenses we've seen in a while. Obviously they were like one of the greatest defenses relative to era in regular season also. So it's not a surprise. But thoughts on Isaiah Joe? What happened to the spark? Yeah, it was rough today because he just didn't hit his shots. But like I said after game 3, I would still play him a bit because he still has the most shooting gravity on the roster. Teams respect him a lot, and that's what really matters, right? But yeah, he's really got to show up in one of these games because he had multiple good looks today. Um, yeah, and Cam, I agree with you, Cam Carsell. Like they don't attack Jokic well at all. I do think Jokic is playing good defense, but they're also like attacking him in the wrong way. They're doing a lot of pocket passes, a lot of like passing in the lanes. Like Jokic has great hands, bro. Like end of the day, he's limited athletically, but like same time, like he's so smart. It doesn't really matter. So hey, that's awesome check, bro. Shout out from Brazil, man. Um, yeah, yeah. It honestly might just be like a nerve thing because like he's playing so little minutes. He's only playing like 3 or 4 minute stints. I can see a reason why he's struggling. You don't get much confidence, especially as a shooter, right? Like for shooters, having a good rhythm is like the most important thing, and he just hasn't had that all series. So I can kind of understand that. All right, let's see if we get any questions from here. All right, let's do this one. How confident are you on a scale on 1 to 10 on Mark Dagnall's ability to manage the game plan in competitive series like this, rotationally or just defensive and offensive? So, a few things. I think we can talk about the good and bad about Mark. The good thing was that he was willing to bench Dort um, after always trusting him for 3 or 4 years, right? That's a really good thing that he has the willingness, he has the balls to do that. On the downside, his ability, like the Thunder's offense should not be this bad for the first. I mean, not 3 out of 4 games, right? The Thunder's offense should not be in that situation. Mark's, I mean, I have to rewatch the game to really say how much blame was on Mark, but the Thunder were not playing organized offense the entire game. They were just freelancing. They were not running any plays. They ran a lot of plays in game 2 and against Memphis, but since these games have become more close and defensive oriented, like Mark, and they're playing against zone more, Mark does not like to run plays when they're playing against zone. He just kind of trusts his team, and I think that's why the offensive results have been so bad. So I would say I'm semi confident. End of the day, he led such a great team in the regular season, but like his postseason moments have not been great. I think this was his first like game that he managed really well down the stretch. I even liked the challenge. I know the challenge wasn't successful, but I liked the challenge. So he called the timeout well. Yeah, I thought he was good at managing the game today, but he's had more bad games than good games so far this postseason and last. So I would say like on a 1 to 10 scale, I'd probably give him like a 5 or 6. Do you think a good answer for the series would be Cam Johnson? I think it would certainly help. I think the bigger issue is that Shai and J-Dub are both not a bigger issue, but like, well, the entire team is. I don't think one player can single handedly change it so much, right? The entire team itself is not natural shooters. Like we can look at the roster. I would say only Joe and like Wiggins this year are like natural shooting players, right? Everyone else is kind of like it's like there's third or fourth skill, so it's not they're not really a natural shooter. So like I don't know if one player would change a lot much, but like it would help. And then second thing, like Shai and J-Dub just have to be better playmakers, like against this type of defense. Um, will the 3 point shooting regress at least to a mean level? Um, that's a great question. I don't think we'll ever see regular season shooting translate to the playoffs because again, like what I just said, the Thunder don't have many real shooters, and what I mean by real shooters, players are like oops, will shoot a lot on volume. Like I think Dort shoots a lot on volume, but it's because the teams are leaving him open, right? Not a lot of these guys are confident shooters that can shoot like a lot of different types of shots. So come playoff time, teams just run them off the line and force them to put the ball on the floor. So I don't know if we'll ever reach. I don't know if we'll ever reach regular season levels, but I mean the shooting today in the first half was like more than just that. It was just bad luck. They shot 24% today, but we can go to the first half, right? What was the first half? Um, they shot 3 of 22 in the first half. So like obviously there's like a bit of both. I just don't think this is a great shooting team come playoff time. I think we've seen enough. We've seen 4 playoff series going back to last year. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think there's some reason why this happens, but they've got to have like a good shooting half eventually. The only 2 good shooting games they've had all postseason was game 2 against Denver and game 1 against Memphis, and both games were blowouts. So if you can really, and obviously the second half today, the reason why they finally pulled away in the fourth quarter was because they finally got the role players in Caruso, Wallace, and Wiggins finally hitting those 3 pointers. So they really just need to have like a good 3 point stretch eventually. What do you think about the defensive shooting lineups when you've had Shai, Dub, Dort, and Chet and Harden on the floor? It's easy to shrink the floor. Yeah, I don't like those lineups. So 2 things. When you run Hardenstein and Chet, the spacing is really messed up for multiple reasons, but especially because teams don't really respect Chet's jumper because it's slow. And then Hardenstein, again, he's really poor at the dunker spot. He's not making those floors at the dunker spot. So teams don't respect that either. So combination of both reasons. Also, I don't think Chet's that smart of a player yet on offense. He's not a quick processor, so teams can force him into decisions. But I don't like that lineup. And also, Dort just makes it worse, right? Dort's another player they can just run off the line. I really loved that they used Wiggins a lot to close that game, bro. I really loved that. Let's look at the second half, right? So in the second half of this game, it just loads. Okay, I don't know if it's gonna load, but all right, NBA is not working, but that's I think the site just crashed on me, but yeah, I just don't like that lineup for. Well, maybe it works now. I'm trying to prove a point. Okay, okay, we got it. Look at the offensive rating when Wiggins was on the floor. When Wiggins was on the floor, they had so much more shooting. Denver uh could not play as aggressive because every time Shea passed it or Jada passed it to Wiggins, he was either shooting that free or attacking quick off the catch and putting some pressure on the defense. So again, that's why I don't like the lineup because you have much better options where you can just run some offensive slanted players. I don't think you need to go this defensive slant in this series. I think you can just trust. Again, how much of an impact will having an extra off-ball defensive guard have instead of like an Isaiah Jones and Wiggins when they're playing off-ball defensively and they're just chasing shooters around because that's how Denver plays, right? You're just playing the post. What matters most is your screen navigation. So having someone like Case and Dort or Crusoe in there, and then having a good Jokic defender, having a good post defender like Hartenstein, and having like an extra rim protector like Jada or Chet. You don't need four different defenders. You don't need that type of lineup. You can run Wiggins in there. I mean, 150 offensive rating is incredible with him. And they were able to live defensively. Yeah, those door minutes in the second half. My God, I didn't even see that, but door in the second half was a disaster, man. Obviously, these type of stats are not the end all. They don't tell you everything, so you know, don't look at it as like confirmation or anything. But like 58 offensive rating, they just could. The offense has always been bad with Dort this series, and then obviously the defense wasn't anything good either. So I really think they will go more offensive slanted in game five. They kind of have to. Yeah, Dort's just incredible, man. How often do we have these bad shooting nights? I know we generally win anyways, but I'm curious. So what are we shooting this playoff? So we can just see it right now. Yeah, yeah, they're like just being one of the worst. Sorry, one of the worst shooting teams in the league this postseason. And honestly, the crazy part is that they're still scoring pretty well, but it's being inflated by those two blowouts, obviously. But like for the most part, they've been able to like at least like survive. It's really just the end of the game stuff. Today was obviously like the first truly like horrific offensive game from start to finish. But for the most part, until clutch time, they're pretty fine because they generate enough turnovers. They get to the rim well, but the problem with Dort offensively is that you don't really have to worry about him driving and absorbing the contact too well. So you just settle behind the 3 point line. Yes, that's what I mean by running him off the line. You just run him off a 3 point line. So if he doesn't shoot the shot, what is he gonna do then? He's either gonna make a pass and he's not a great passer. He's not a great decision maker, or he's gonna try to finish. And Lou Dort's one of the worst finishers in the league. Yeah, I would be really down for Kaysen to start because again, I don't think Crusoe is gonna be that, and I think Shea Kaysen have played a lot this year, so play a lot next to each other this year. So I would be really happy to see Kaysen get that role. Let's see if I have any questions on here, but okay. This was interesting. I've heard this a lot over like the last two games, fewest clutch games in the league. I mean, That's obviously a caveat of like just blowing every single team out, being so good in the regular season. But like, I was kind of not kind of disappointed. I'm not saying I'm mad at the Thunder blowout games, but if there's like one bad thing about that, it was like you just don't get any clutch time, decision making, any clutch time awareness. Because the reason why they lost against the Mavericks wasn't just like the shooting. It wasn't just that. It was like they couldn't win close games. They won like one of three, I believe, in close games that series. The offense was terrible outside of Game 6. The offense was terrible in all those clutch games. Even Game 4, the one they won, it was just Shai bailing them out with insanely impossible mid-range shots. So like, I that part kind of sucks about it. I agree. It's not a great thing. Dort reminds me of Marcus Smart. Look, I think you can win with Dort. I just think you have to find a more. You can't have him playing this many minutes and have like rely on him this much. I don't think they have to, but like I think Mark sometimes relies on him a bit too much. Yeah, Dort actually has a good mid-range shot, which is kind of funny. What can the Thunder do to get Shea out of his funk and then hitting his just shots when he's doubled? So I think a lot of this is a Shea thing. Again, I kind of mentioned it. I think the Thunder kind of figured something out in the fourth quarter, by having Shea have the ball. I'll try to let's see if we can get an example right here. I'll answer your question in a second, Daniel. But I think it might have been this shot, right? Yeah, where they have Shea initiate more from the wing initially, and no matter what, unless they hard double, like Jokic is gonna be there preventing him from getting to the rim. But like Shea will still be able to get like a 1-on-1, like mid range, bump mid range. He'll be able to get to that shot no matter what. So I think just having him initiate less from the top of the key, because Shea does not read the floor that well, right? So if you have him initiating at the top of the key, he's gonna be seeing all the bodies. He's gonna be seeing them put a wall, uh, a complete wall on him, right? So he's gonna struggle with decision making at times. So I think having him initiate from easier spots is the number one way. And then the other thing is, what was the question here? Is having him play faster in transition. There's a lot of times where Denver doesn't fully get back, and I think Shea's just playing way too slow. I think he sees the bodies come early and he just slows down the team. He needs to really just play faster. That's the number one thing. If Shea starts playing faster, I think he'll be able to get his scoring going. But again, I was pretty content with his fourth quarter today. Like I really think the ending just kind of like took away all the good stuff that he did. But I think it was really solid in the fourth quarter in terms of like making the right decisions, beating the zone, all that stuff. How do I feel? How do feel for the rest of the fourth for the rest of the series? I feel good. I feel good, but I feel good for the reason that like you have kind of been in a state where you figured out Jokic. As much as Denver has prevented Shea from doing his thing, the Thunder have been even better at like preventing Jokic from being a playmaker, preventing Jokic to really be the unstoppable force we're used to him being, right? And until Jokic breaks his slump, I'm gonna be confident the Thunder win the series, right? It's now 3 games in a row where Jokic just mildly struggled from the field as a playmaker. So as long as the Thunder continue to make Jokic's life hard, I'm confident in the series. But they're gonna have to. They're due for a good shooting game, like just straight up a good shooting game. You know, they won today despite shooting what 23% from the field and from free. What was it again? Was it 23%? I don't think it's updated, but oh, there it was. Okay. Yeah, 24% from free. Despite that, they won the game, but like they're gonna have to have a game where they eventually just like they can start the game early well. They can create some cushion because again, you don't want to be in a situation where in clutch games with Denver, you outplayed them today, which was great. You outplayed them in the fourth quarter, again led by the defense, but you will have to find you'll have to get out of this clutch game stuff because you don't want to play that as the favorites in the series. That's a great point. Fine fine human. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name or whatever your username is, but Shai's been so good on the boards this playoffs. I mentioned that while watching the game live. Like, um, all right, we can just like look at this real quick. Like 6.6 rebounds this series. I mean this year, but I think it's really been this series, right? Where we could look at recent games. Where's his rebounds? Oh, I don't know. This is lying to me because I'm pretty sure. Okay, anyways, yeah, no, Shai's been great on the boards all series. There's like a lot of. He's also been great as a help side defender, not just the boards. I think he's been really good being the low man because like when Jokic is in a post or when Gordon is collapsing in defense, Shai's always like the last guy because he's playing off of Braun or he's playing off like the weakest. He's like roaming off the weakest Denver player, right? So he's doing a great job at collapsing as the low man, making sure that he's getting contested up. I think there's a few times where he almost blocked Jokic, right? Or at least got like a hand up. So and then he's securing the possession. So like great stuff by Shai. And I didn't really expect him to be this valuable defensively in this series, but like everyone who called out Shai's defense all year, like for being fake or being overrated because of steals and blocks, like this series he has legitimately had such a good impact defensively, and having all five players on the floor always be great defenders is always. I mean, having your star player do that is just great stuff. Like trusting him in help side situations to not foul. I mean, Shai barely gets fouls all series despite contesting a lot of shots at the rim. It's like the little things that Shai has done really well over the last few games. This is really just need to play a little faster on offense. It's kind of weird because like J-Dub on the other end, he needs to slow down because of the coverages he's playing, but Shai needs to really start like playing a lot faster. It's kind of the opposite right now. Um, Trying to think if there's anything else to talk about. If you guys have any questions, I'll answer them. Um, why do they always have Sean? Uh, why do they always have Shai leave Braun wide open in the corner? It's so risky. I mean, Braun is not shooting well in the playoffs, and you have to make sacrifices, right? There'll never be a perfect defense. There'll never be like a perfect defensive scheme. And when you're playing against a player like Jokic, right, who's drawing so much gravity, so much attention, you're gonna have to give up something. I think that's the best shot you can give. I think it's something you'll live with because he's not been a good shooter all postseason, right? Christian Braun. They'll probably be a game 5 or 6. Hopefully not, but like that he starts hitting these corner 3 pointers. But again, 26% in the playoffs of his career. I think this year. Where is it? Where's his 3 point percentage? Am I losing it? Okay, it doesn't show me his 3 point percentage for this year, but like I'm pretty sure he's shooting pretty bad from free. Yeah, yeah, you have to leave Braun open over Gordon. Gordon's been a very improved shooter. He's shooting 40% on the year. He's been hitting pull up threes now. So like, I think that's a sacrifice you make. I think you live with leaving Braun open, and that's where you get Shai's rim protection and rebounding, right? By leaving Braun in the corner open. That's the best way to do it. So I understand it's risky, but like it's also the best risk you can make. Like who else are you gonna leave open or give space on Denver's defense, right? You can't just let Jokic play 1-on-1. You can't just let them get to the paint on will. No, I agree. Shai is putting so much energy on defense right now. Like it's gonna be. Yo, what's up, Jace? No, I agree. It's gonna be hard for him to like really become like an over the top shot maker. I mean, his 3 point shooting has been so bad this postseason, man. Like I know he's shooting tough shots from free, but like he can't even have one like I can't spell. He can't even have one good game right now. Box and Chase Gordon at this point, like 23% is ridiculous. Like he's due for some positive regression, but like I also agree. Like it's another thing. Like he's exerting so much energy on defense right now, chasing around screens on the boards. I'm not shocked he's shooting bad from free, but like here's another thing. Shai's got to cut out like the pull up free from his bag. It needs to just be step backs. That pull up free, that side step free, whatever it is, he's just not been making that shot all year. It's just a weird footwork shot. His form that he shoots on his shot doesn't really allow it, right? So He needs to stick to step back threes. Those are the shots that he has made all year. And that's honestly the most disappointing part because um Shea this season was actually like a much improved shooter. I think he shot 37.5%. Yeah. Shea's been a much improved shooter this year, and I've truly thought he did make the leap. Even in last postseason, Shea shot really good from free. But if he keeps shooting these, I can probably show you an example right now. Let's look at his free pointers right now, right? He had like one really good look. It was like a catch and shoot. Um, yeah, this is a catch and shoot one, but I'll try. I'm trying to show. I think it's this one. This is the one I'm talking about. Where like the gather into it, like that pull up three. He's just not good. Like shooting, going into the shot. He's much better when he's like stepping back, shooting off momentum. Like yeah, the 3 point daggers he tries in the clutch are annoying. I think the step back three is fine. I'm not mad at like this type of shot when he's leaning into the shot off the screen. When he's playing in transition, he just cannot hit those shots all year. He's really got to. I mean, this one was funny. I mean, this is a shot he missed. I think I'm talking about the step back. This one I'm fine with. There's another one too. I think there's one more, right? Yeah. Never mind. Never mind. He doesn't. But like that step back free is a fine shot. He gets a lot of separation off of it. He has pretty good footwork. But like the side steps, the sorry, I keep going to that screen, but all that stuff is pretty fine. Yeah, he was trying to clip farm in the clutch. It's fine. It was fine though. Again, outside of the last minute or two, I really liked what Shea did, so I'm not gonna be too critical on him. But he also needs to stop being so. He needs to stop being so passive in transition, so passive for the first few quarters. So how can I get Shea to quit playing so much hero ball when we don't need it? That's just something you have to live with your stars. I'm not gonna lie, but again, he did not play hero ball in the fourth until they're already up 5 or 6 points. And then another thing, he wasted time. So, but it's really second and third quarter. I mean, he had one shot in the third quarter, one shot, and it was that transition pull up three I showed you earlier. Shea cannot be shooting one shot in a quarter, and it's more than just shooting one shot. He's just not having impact, right? He's just not even trying to drive. He's not trying to collapse the defense. He's just got to do a better job at that. Let's see. I don't know if there's any new questions. All right, let's see. Yeah, I get he's going. I get he's going for the dagger, but takes you out sometimes. Yeah. Again, I don't know. I don't think Dort's gonna come off the bench, but I do think playing more minutes is a serious argument now. We can look. Let's look at like the whole game splits, like the offensive and defensive splits, if it allows me to. Again, offensive share on the floor again, back to back games where it just has to be better. You can't have a 90 offensive rating when your best player's on the floor. Yeah, I mean, do I have to highlight this more? The Dort minutes offensively were just so rough. There's no space on the floor. Same with Chet. Chet's for a different reason. Chet's just because like he needs to play stronger. He really just needs to play stronger at the rim, and he needs to be put in better spots. He right now, I'll keep saying this, but Chet is more of like a I don't know how to explain it, but Chet's really he's kind of raw offensively. That might just be the word. He's raw offensively. I think defensively, Chet has an impact almost every single game, no matter what, just because of how much space he can cover. But like whatever progression Chet had at the beginning of the year offensively, when he was much more consistent, he was averaging almost like 20 points before he went down with injury, right? So whatever that was, it's probably been taken away from the injury. He's probably out of rhythm right now. But you probably the best bet is like in this off season. He gets back to his level, but this is just not. He's just not a high level offensive player right now, and that's kind of an issue with this Thunder team. I'd say that you have obviously Shea, and then you have J Dub. You'll really only have like two highly like impactful offensive starters. Like that's why guys like Wiggins are so important because, I mean, obviously, like I just said, Chet is raw. He can't really do much with the ball. He's not a great shooter right now. He's really flat on his shots. Hardenstein in this series, he's not versatile enough. He only has like that straight line floater. I think he's been much. I think he was a. I think Hardenstein had some good playmaking moments for this game, but it's not been great this series compared to regular season. And then obviously all your defensive guys, Dort, Case, and Caruso, are all limited offensively. So that's really the most important thing. I'm not talking about the offseason, but just going forward, you probably want to have like another high level offensive guy, or hope that Chet can grow into it. Because right now, you just don't have enough offensive juice in some of these games. Yeah, it is a confidence thing for Chet right now on offense. Yeah, yeah. There's only so much blame I can put on Chet, right? The fact that Chet even came back this year and he's still impacting games to a degree is a miraculous, right? It's amazing. He came back from a really tough injury, and he himself, like, he's been in the league for what, 3 seasons, but like almost half of that's been taken away just from injury. So this is less on Chet, but like the reality of the situation is that right now there's only so much you can help give the Thunder right now. What is Dort shooting this? Let's see what Dort's shooting this playoffs. I think it's pretty bad. Damn, 25%. And I think he hit his first 3 pointer on the road in like 2 3 months today. So yeah, yeah. Obviously, I don't think you can trust. I think Denver's a good enough team. I think Jokic is good enough where he's probably not gonna have a fourth straight bad game offensively. That's probably the reality of the situation again. That you're probably not gonna be able to play this dogfight once more. Like, I mean, if the Thunder can hold Jokic to a fourth straight game, that would be incredible. But you shouldn't be operating in that situation. You just need to find a way to get this offense going early. Do you think we need a point guard? I feel like SJ is more suited to be a shooting guard one, like Donovan, since he can't read the floor or play make that well. Um, that's a good question, but it really means like what is a point guard? Because I just don't want to play a point guard just to play one. Like I don't want to get like a Tyus Jones or Trey Jones or like a Giddy, right? I don't want that situation where you're just like forcing yourself to play a point guard. I do think the Thunder need more. I think that just Thunder need like one more smart player, like one more smart playmaker. That can be from any position. I think Hardenstein. I think the reason why the Thunder's offense was much better in the second half of this year was because they added Hardenstein compared to last year. Right, it was much more versatile. You need one more piece. Maybe J Dub can become smart over the next few years. Maybe Chet can. I don't. It doesn't really have to be external, but like they really need someone to make like a leap in terms of being able to play smarter. But I agree with what you're saying. Like honestly, you can do that right now. You just need Shea to somehow play off the ball more. When Shea initiates these possessions at the top of the keys, is not reading the floor well. And like I said, if you play him at the wing, I think he'll be much better. So just find ways to operate Shea off the ball. And Mark Dagnall said it post game that Nikola Topic is they're getting unprepared to play these type of defenses. That's what they've been doing all year to have him ready to break these type of zone defenses. And they're really excited for him. He said that in a I don't know if it was post game or if it was like after a practice. So yeah, they need to stop isolating the zone. Also, like you cannot isolate the zone. You cannot flatten the floor out. They haven't run any sets against the zone at all. They're just freelancing it. Shout out shout out this guy on our playback. He was tracking every single play and seeing if the Thunder were doing an organized offense or just freelancing offense, right? So almost every single play in that first half, the Thunder just ran no set, they ran no action, they're just flattening the floor out and doing isolation of some sorts. That's you cannot do that. You're just gonna be you're just gonna force your players to be playing in a bunch of space and not being able to create much. So again, a lot of this is on Mark. And if the Thunder lost this game right now, I think we'd be putting a lot more energy at Mark and how he's misutilized the players, how little he's calling the players right now because not being able to score in that zone defense, not being able to capitalize off that bad of a Denver shooting half was truly embarrassing. You should never be in that situation again. Oh, what's up, JP? I was I was just mentioning your out of structure thing, but yeah, yeah, we got them out of the zone by having Jada beat a one pass away. When you have Jada, we can go back to that play. We can go back to the play. That's crazy that Jada only made 2 shots today. I don't think we've comprehended that yet. But um, when you have Jada one pass away, you get more situations like this, and this is how you get teams out of zone, right? You force them in rotation. You play quick off the catch. So that was like the best play representing how to beat a zone all game. And it was like this one open free. I don't. If you remember the player, I can probably pull it up also. But yeah, yeah, bro. we should talk about that real quick, right? Tomorrow, you guys know what tomorrow is, right? Tomorrow, 5 o'clock. No, 7 o'clock probably, right? We got the NBA draft lottery tomorrow. Less than 24 hours. Obviously, some under implications here. You see the Philadelphia pick. We have 35% chance. That's gonna be a huge asset potentially, right? Win or lose the series, win or lose the championship. If you're able to get that number 6 or 7, I mean number 7 or 8 pick, that's such a huge asset, not just for drafting, but like I think I'll probably live stream the lottery in here, like while it's happening. But hey, hopefully that's the first time I did. But yeah, no, RJ, this is I really love winning a close game. Like I kind of said before the series, I was talking with Jay's Hoops on Twitter, great account. I was talking with him. I was like, the Thunder are really gonna have to extend the series. I don't really think that we're gonna be able to win a lot of close games in the series. And first game one and game three, we lost both of them. So down the stretch, I wasn't confident in game four because Denver's insane in clutch games. They're insane in the playoffs. Every single fourth quarter overtime, they just win it every single time. So I wasn't feeling too confident, but that was that was a really good confidence boosting win. It's kind of like game four Dallas last year, right? So hopefully it ends up in a different way. But yeah, Young Yob, it's top six protected. So the Thunder have a 35% chance to get the pick. I might be a little off. 27 plus 8, so like yeah, 35 ish. 35% chance to get the pick. Uh, the other pick the Thunder have is a pick number 15, right? From Miami. So they get pick number 15 no matter what. And I think we have one more pick, 24. Yeah, if we get number 7, I think there's a decent chance Mark Presley just trades that pick down the line. The Nuggets have 125 offensive rating in clutch and 160 offensive rating in overtime this season. They're ridiculous. Yeah. Again, it's like that team's insane to play, man. That maybe hopefully game 5 is the game where you can go back to like creating some cushion again. You just really need a hot shooting game. That's what happened in game 2. You got them out of the zone early because we can pull that up also. Hold up, I don't want to. What day was game 2? Was it Wednesday? What if Thunder shooting game 2? I feel like the only game this series they've shot above 40% from free. Yeah, they shot 16 of 36 from free. And the biggest thing was they shot well early on in the first quarter, right? The first 4 or 5 minutes of the first quarter, the Thunder shot really well. So Denver had to get out their zone and had to play more not one on one, but like they had to go to like uh less traditional ways of helping. So like that's really how Shai just dominated that game as a playmaker and as a scorer. It was because the Thunder were able to hit shots and he was able to get them onto coverages. So The main thing is like you have to force Denver out their zone, force them out their coverages, and you'll be completely fine. I don't like how Shai has suddenly turned into one of the worst clutch time superstars recently. Yeah, he's gonna have to have his. I mean, game three, he completely. I'm not gonna say completely, but like he just had to make one shot. Really, he just had to make one shot, one jumper, one pull up jumper, and the Thunder probably win that game. He's gonna have to have his moment eventually, but he also hasn't played much clutch games all year. So no, when Denver made that third quarter run, I completely lost hope. I'm not gonna lie, because at that point it was what 7 8 quarters. No, I mean like 7 quarters in a row. What if Thunder just couldn't figure out the zone? It just felt helpless, and Denver was finally hitting shots. I had no hope going into the third quarter either, but that's an insane win. They were down what 5 or 6 points going into the fourth quarter. They come up winning by 1 or 2 possessions. Like it wasn't a complete final minute game. Why do you think his playoff percentage regressed from last year? Even in the Grizzly series, he was pretty mid. Jason, are you talking about Shea? Yeah, and Mark showed a willingness to pull Dort. Jason, just let me know if you're talking about Shea, then I'll talk about it. But yeah, I'm really happy. Like it's actually kind of funny. Like media stream yesterday, game three was like half of it I spent talking about Mark needs to be willing to take out Dort. All right, yeah, Jason. So Shea, why do you think his playoff performance regressed from last year? So a few things. A few things. Um, he's being scouted out more. That's straight up a thing. I also think last year. I think last year maybe kind of sugarcoated some of Shea's maybe issues potentially that he had because he was shooting really hot from free. Um, I think Shea will improve from the level of play he's playing right now. So, and this is not me dooming on Shea, but like last playoffs, I think his 2 point percentage was actually pretty similar. But he was hitting 3 point shots then. So like I think a lot of it comes down to that. I think some of his playmaking issues were still there. Teams, I mean, Denver's is complete playing him completely differently. But like I think if Shea was hitting his 3 point shots, there's a lot different story right now and how we're talking about him, right? But he's also playing slower. He's also playing slower. He's being forced to play slower. Like the thing is, when you're playing slow, like a team that naturally just plays slower in the half court, like Denver, it's gonna mess up the pace for both teams, and that's what it's done for Shea and the Thunder's offense. So I think that's a major reason. But I do think that, like there's always been like a few concerns with Shea and how we can hold up in the playoffs compared to regular season, and like major thing is that he's a limited 3 point shooter. He's a good 3 point shooter, but limited. Uh, he hasn't read the floor well, and then he's obviously not insanely athletic, right? So like when teams are playing so aggressive, he can't just like walk his way to the rim. He can't really like force pressure unless he has a lot of space. But I think he'll play better. I think we saw some better process in the fourth quarter today. So again, it's a 3 game series now. You know, it's 2-2, best of three. Whatever happened in the first 4 games of the series, I think you live with it from Shea. But yeah, the free throw stuff is I don't understand what happened with the free throws. I don't understand with that. I don't have an explanation for the free throw stuff. Oh wait, well, I don't know why I did that. I wasn't even paying attention. I think they shot 82 or 83 at the line. Uh, in the regular season, I don't understand. J Dub has been pretty bad at the line. He was really good today, 6 of 6. But like, I don't understand why Shea's missing free throws. Honestly, maybe it's like him playing more minutes, maybe more fatigue. But yeah, Shea free throw thing is like the another thing I just can't explain. It just small sample, whatever you want to call it, fatigue. Like, there's no logical reason why that would happen. Let's see any questions here before. Should the Thunder give less minutes to Chet? I don't like the way he's played this whole series, to be honest. Again, it comes down to the defense stuff, right? So he's still been so impactful, like helping when Hartenstein starts on Jokic, right? Chet's been so impactful, being like the guy behind him, roaming off of Gordon. Like Gordon's had a good series. Obviously, I don't have to say that, but it's mainly because of his shooting. Gordon at the rim has not done much, and that's because of Chet and how good he's been at help and then turning those shots. So I don't think you can really play Chet less, but like I think you should be open to like maybe going small at times, and maybe not going double big. And if that forces you to play hard at the five because you need a Jokic defender, then yes, Chet has to be benched. But I don't think it's like a I don't think it's like a thing we have to play less minutes for Chet. It's just like you, you shouldn't. It's similar to Dort, but like to a lesser extent. Like you should just go with the game flow. You shouldn't just guarantee him minutes. All right, I've been on here for like an hour and a half, but if you guys have any more, like I'll probably be out in like a few minutes because I'm kind of hungry. But any like last questions or anything, it's Thunder related, draft related. Tomorrow's the lottery. Again, I'll stream it tomorrow. Um, any last questions? I'll be happy to answer them. I said before the series starts, this comes down to if Diggs has. I don't think he has the bench yet, right? But like, I had the door again. Limit his minutes. Well, it's like another thing. Again, I think Chet didn't play too many minutes today. He played 29, which was down from his game 3. But I think it's really just Chet needs to simplify his role for game 5. He needs to stop putting the ball on the floor so much and we'll be fine. Predictions for game 5. I predicted Thunder win game 4. I predicted by like 14, so it's kind of wrong. But um, Thunder by Thunder by 18. I think that we're due for a blowout game this series since game 2. We played 3 out of 4 close games. Denver's really good at keeping like every single game contested and close, so that's obviously not an easy task. But yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say Thunder finally like break the shooting seal. They're back at home. They played this team for a while now, right? I think Shai is starting to look a little more comfortable maybe against his own in terms of like playmaking. But like yeah, Chet in terms of a creator and on ball offensive player, he's gonna have to work a lot, but he'll get there. Yeah. I mean, Joseph, I don't know if that's fair because like I think Chet did a lot of work. It just ended up like obviously he's coming back from rehab. He loses his strength. He like I think he would look really good at the beginning of the year. I think like the beginning of the year Chet where he averaged. We can look at the what first. We can look at right now. What was the first 9 games, something like that? He was like averaging like he was like really good from the field. Yeah, 18 points, 9 rebounds, 3 blocks. He was really good inside the arc. He was finishing well. Like I really just think it's gonna be come down to him staying healthy, not having to like come back and rehab. But I get it. Right now in the moment, that is an issue for Chet not being able to finish out contact. Yeah, JP, we talked about it before you were here. Like it has to be that we literally looked back on like every single iHeart floater, and it really just has to be that. There's no other excuse. I know we have to get past the series, but do you think we match up better with the Wolves or Warriors, assuming Steph is back? It's a great question. I haven't really thought about that for obvious reasons, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Golden State. I'm gonna say Golden State. I'm gonna say Golden State because they just have no creation right on their team outside of Steph and like I don't know. I feel like you can. I don't feel like that motion offense would really work that well when you're playing. You can't really create that many mismatches. That's their entire offense, right? Creating off ball mismatches, getting Curry uh, off screens and stuff. I think this team is like so many versatile defenders, so much length. I think it would kind of mess them up, but I think both teams they match up pretty solid with. I know they struggled with Minnesota in the past, but I think in a playoff series, I think Mark would be able to hone down on Anthony Edwards and stuff like that. Is it bad to say Shai's been better than Jokic this series? No, I think I think Shai's been better than Jokic this series probably. Yeah, I mean, it's close. And for some, it's actually kind of funny. Both of them have been great defensively this series. Shai and Jokic, they've been really good defensively and on the boards. But they're both stinking it from the field. But Jokic is being more you know, destructive with his turnover. So I don't think that's unfair to say. Will fatigue be a factor for the Nuggets? It should be. It should be. I mean, they have to be worn down a bit by now. You know, they should be. Um, they've always been pretty bad. Uh, Playing off short rest all year. I'm pretty sure I saw a stat by one of the better Nugget reporters. But again, I think they play Tuesday, right? So there's no break again. What time is Game Six? Game Six is Thursday too. Damn. Okay. Yeah. So no rest until Game Seven. Game Seven would be Sunday, right? Hold up. Game Seven would be Sunday. Yeah. So no rest until a potential Game Seven. So I don't know. I don't think fatigue will be a major factor, but it could be. I mean, obviously you're being a younger team. All right. I think I'm gonna call this stream here. Like the stream. I mean, subscribe obviously. Um, I'll be going live tomorrow again for the lottery. I'll react live to the lottery. I'll talk about the Thunder a bit more. I'll probably rewatch the game sometime in between then, or at least rewatch some of it so I can talk a bit more about it. But I'll have a stream during the lottery tomorrow and just see where the Thunder land. Talk about the draft a bit for any of you guys interested. Maybe off season stuff. Game 5 on Tuesday, all that stuff. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. All of y'all.